So, should we just say it was £100 to fix this car, which I'm sure you'll agree is outstanding value. I didn't lose any money, didn't make any money, but I didn't lose any money. I think that's a bit of a cop-out, really, putting that window in there like that. You could have put a wound-up window in there. People in the back of this car are going to get damn hot. Because that window only opens like 2 inches. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do, if I'm honest, but I can't really find much to complain about. What is up, YouTubers and lovers of budget cars and bikes? Welcome to the second part of this mini-series on the Citroen C1, which came in about a week ago. I think it was actually delivered a week today ago, on the back of a flatbed lorry from Hills in Exeter via Cinetic Auction House. I've bought about 4 cars from Hills now, and so far I've been quite impressed. They're really friendly on the phone. Their delivery driver's a really good guy. They've not given me any kind of surprises that I wasn't expecting, really, to be honest. Even the little Ford Fiesta that ended up needing a new engine, that wasn't a huge shocker, because I did buy that figuring that the misfire in cylinder 2 could be at the absolute worst case scenario, loss of compression. Ended up being that. Again, if you haven't seen that video, I'll stick a link in up here somewhere. There's 2 videos in that series as well, I think, so you can find out exactly what happened with that. But again, you know, that wasn't the auction house's fault. I took it on a worst case scenario. I didn't lose any money, didn't make any money, but I didn't lose any money. Found a really good garage in Bodmin that I'm now going to use in the future, A&J. So if you're local, give them a shout. Really nice guys, very reasonably priced, and they did me a right favour on that. So worst case scenario with that little Fiesta was I learnt a lesson, got a great garage and moved it on. So again, you know, I've not had a bad dealing with Hills in Exeter. Really good bunch of guys. This is the latest offering from them. Well, I'm assuming you've seen the first video, it should be up here somewhere. If you saw that, you'll see that it did arrive with a missing back bumper. That has been addressed, although as you can probably see, you may actually be able to tell from here, it is a slightly different colour. Because the weird thing, let me just get rid of this over here a second, because there's a little black mark and it's annoying me. I might have to actually polish that out. Yeah, it is an odd thing, because although this is the facelift model when it comes to the front of the car, as in down here, it does have the daytime running lights, the LED daytime running lights. The rear bumper is almost like it's off an old shape, because this bumper I don't believe came off a car anywhere near as new as a 2014. The back of it here is shiny enough, it's okay, but it's not an exact match, as you can see there, with the red. Now, of course, it's incredibly difficult to match up red. It's one of those renowned colours that is almost impossible to match up. Bumpers, generally speaking, are never exactly the same colour as a roof or the doors or the wings of a car anyway. So it's not the end of the world, and at the end of the day, I actually needed to buy, again, if you've seen the first video, you'll remember that this hinge here was all bubbled up, this light here was destroyed, this windscreen wiper was gone, this door handle or latch handle was gone. This I've not been able to replace yet. I think I'm probably going to just have to leave that now and just do what I can with it. And obviously it didn't have a rear bumper. That's all been done now. I bought this bumper off eBay with the handle and a new lock, which didn't fit, but that was my fault, and a couple of hinges and that light, and the whole thing came to 85 quid delivered. So that's a bumper pretty much in colour, and all the bits that were melted for less than 100 quid. The number plate was a tenner. So should we just say it was £100 to fix this car, which I'm sure you'll agree is outstanding value. Now, yeah, so I was going to talk about prices. We may as well talk about that. I mean, the car came into me, I won it for £1,520. Yeah, that's pretty good going, isn't it? £1,520 to my door, £48, £40 plus VAT for the delivery. So to my door with the auction house fees and buying the car, actually as it arrived, was, I think it's 748 quid. So because of the inconsequential bits and bobs that you always have to end up doing, I've put this car in as it owes me 1,900 quid, £1,900 fixed as it is right now. 36,800 miles. It's got an MOT until May, I think, next year, and I think you'll agree that's damn good value, because this is the edition. So it gets the alloy wheels, it's got air conditioning, electric front windows. I did say in the first video that I thought it was nice that it actually has, it's 5-door by the way, I don't know if you've noticed that, I thought it was quite nice that it has these because I haven't seen that in a car for a very, very long time. But in hindsight, I think that's a real cheap bloody way of doing things, because you don't often get these kind of windows that open up like this in a door. They're generally speaking put into cars that don't have a rear door, like a Mini or something, an old classic Mini. So I think that's a bit of a cop-out, really. Putting that window in there like that. You could have put a wound-up window in there. People in the back of this car are going to get damn hot. Because that window only opens like 2 inches. So I'm not sure I'm impressed with that, if I'm honest. But I do like the way that the car can look on certain angles like a little 2-door, because a lot of these are 2 doors, of course. This is a 5-door, which I'm hoping will be more sellable. We've already showed you the underside, or under the bonnet as it were, so there's no point going back into underneath that. And I've just taken it for a little test drive down the A30 there, as you can see. It drives really well, guys. I've got to say, I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting it to drive as well as it does. It's really quiet inside. There's no road noise. It's smooth. It cruises along between 65 and 70 at 2,500 revs. Now, bear in mind, this is a 1 litre petrol engine, so that did surprise me. My mum's 2 litre RAV4 does about the same, 2,500 revs at 70 miles an hour. Bear in mind, this is half the size engine, and it's doing the same thing, 2,500 revs at 70 miles an hour, shall we say. I think that's pretty good, because it means that the engine's not under a huge amount of strain. So that's good. I wasn't expecting that. I've had 1.2 cars that, scream around 3,500 revs at the same speed. So, yeah, nice one, Citroen. I think that's pretty good, because it would mean, to my mind, that, as I said, the engine's not under so much strain. Talking of the engine, it's a chain-driven car, of course, which is always a bloody massive bonus. No rattles, no knocks, no bangs from the suspension, nothing like that. Oh, the only other thing I had to do on this rear bumper as well is that black plastic bit just there was looking really faded. Again, because I think it came off a slightly older car. It had that kind of sun bleaching that you get, all different kind of shades. So I sprayed it, and believe it or not, and I've used it in the past, and I will use it again because it's so easy to use. Hammerite in a tin, black satin Hammerite, flat, non-hammered, as it were, Hammerite. And all you got to do, well, all I did, was basically wipe it down with some alcohol rub. And I've just sprayed 2 coats over that, and I think you'll agree that looks spot on now. The world's smallest boot. I don't think we looked in the boot last time we were here, so we may as well have a quick look what boot there is. It is the world's smallest boot, but it does actually have, if I can get this up, a spare wheel underneath there, which is pretty good for a tiny little car. Yeah, tiny little boot, and there's the parcel shelf, which I didn't know we had, which I'm very happy about. Just generally speaking, a really nice little car. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do, if I'm honest, but I can't really find much to complain about. Going back to the bumper again, I forgot to mention there's a tiny little bit of lacquer peel just in this corner here. I'm not going to get into this because I would have to basically mask off all of this, sand all this back, re-lacquer it, and then hope that it came out all right. And I don't think it's bad enough for me to have to worry about that. This is going to be a cheap car for somebody. As I said, it owes me 1,900 quid all told. I'm going to put this up at 2,595, £2,595. And I fully expect to get at least 2,400 quid for it. So if it makes me a drink of 300 or 400 quid, I am well happy with that. That kind of negates any losses I had on the Fiesta. So it's all swings and roundabouts. But generally speaking, as I said, I think this is a cracking little car. The scuff that we found on the front bumper as well, do you remember that was quite badly gouged out? It needs another tiny little polish just down there where I sanded it. But generally speaking, I think you'll agree that's come out all right. I mean, it is going to be a cheap first car for somebody. It's going to get some more knocks and bangs in it, that's for sure. Hence why I'm not going to bother doing that lacquer peel at the back. I just don't think it warrants it, quite frankly. And if it really bothers somebody that much, they can buy another bloody bumper. I mean, they're 55 quid used. The best one I found, which probably would have been a slightly better colour off a newer car, which was perfect condition, was 100 quid posted. So, if it really bothers somebody that much, let them get on with it. I do need to put some air in those tyres, though, I believe. So that's it. That's the little Citroen C1 2014 with 36,800 miles, MOT till May. It owes me 1,900 quid, as I said. I think that's the bargain of the bloody century, quite frankly. I mean, I'm not going to make a fortune out of it, but it's a great little car, and it has surprised me. It will cruise very, very, very well, as I said. 2,500 revs, 70 miles an hour. You can't ask much more for a 1 litre car from that. And it was very smooth, very quiet, just rolled along. It's not going to win a 0 to 60 kind of races. It's pretty slow off the line, but again, it is a 1 litre petrol engine, so you're not buying it for that. The good news is it's zero road tax. It's insurance group 1, I believe, and it does roughly 55 to 60 miles to the gallon. So again, for a first time driver, first car, that kind of thing, insurance group 1, zero tax, 55, 60 miles to the gallon, easy to maintain, chain driven, parts are readily available and bloody cheap. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And all that for £2,500. I think that's a bloody bargain personally, but we will find out, because I've thought that cars were bargains in the past, and then when I've gone to sell them, it turns out maybe not quite so much, you know. I can only go by what I think, quite frankly, in that respect. I've done a little bit of research. Normally cars like this, which aren't category N or category S, they go for £3,000 plus privately, but with more miles. A 50, 60,000 mile example of this from a dealer would probably cost you around about 30 to 35, depending on condition, of course, and the spec, because they do come in different specs. So I think asking £2,500 for this is a bargain, and I fully expect to get it. Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and give the video a thumbs up if you would. That really helps. We're getting so close now to 5,000 subscribers, so just give me another little boost to get up there and I'll be well happy, because that's a bit of a milestone, isn't it? 5,000 subscribers. And as I said, give the video a like and watch out for another video probably in about the next couple of weeks. And that's it for this one. It was quick in and out the door, and I'm quite impressed. Would I buy this for myself? No, it's too small for me, and it's a little bit tinny, and I'm a grown man and I prefer slightly more substantial cars in that respect. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would. I think it's great miles per gallon, zero road tax, as I said, massively low insurance group, very, very quiet inside. It can cruise on a motorway or it can blast down B roads. It looks funky. What's not to like? You know, for a couple of grand, I think that's a bargain. Anyway, as I said, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Give the video a thumbs up. That really, really helps the channel to grow. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Watch out for another one in a couple of weeks. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching.